For some time, Richardson staff has been raising discussions about differentiated instruction, assessment for learning, and self-regulation in an effort to address some of the learning challenges we have observed in our very diverse student population. When we had the opportunity to be involved in the self-regulated learning study with Nancy Perry's team from UBC, we wondered if SRL could address many of our concerns. In the spring of 2018, our staff was unanimous in making self-regulated learning the new focus of our collaborative inquiry. In August of 2018, we officially began our new journey around the spiral. Our scanning process has consisted of a consensus among staff that many students give up too easily when faced with learning challenges, or they lack the persistence to engage successfully in their learning. Several years ago, we found evidence of this when we conducted a 4-key questions survey, which indicated that many students were not sure what they were learning or where to go next. Data from the district-wide connectedness survey conducted this spring indicates that a considerable number of students at Richardson do not feel secure in their learning. Our intention is to do further scanning as our inquiry unfolds to make sure we are on the right track. Since our inquiry is new, we figured the only way to make an impact is to first focus on professional learning. After many professional day workshops, lunch and learn sessions, collaboration blocks, and staff meeting discussions, some areas of focus emerged. Our boulder-sized question became this: can self-regulated learning enhance student engagement and success in their learning journey? As we immersed ourselves in self-regulated learning, we discovered it is a vast topic encompassing many subcategories, or pebbles, so to speak. Our primary teachers are drawn towards inquiries in social-emotional learning, social thinking, and zones of regulation. They feel it's important to establish self-regulation skills in young students so they can become better regulators of their learning as they mature. Intermediate staff are naturally curious about assessment for learning, differentiated instruction, and the implementation of actual SRL strategies. Inclusive learning, universal design for learning, and growth mindset are topics valued by staff at all grade levels, since the need for individualized programming only increases as gaps in achievement levels become wider in the intermediate grades. As for our SAND level goals, we want to establish a common SRL vocabulary as a starting point. We then want to implement the use of learning targets in each classroom and a visual that guides students through the steps of SRL, understanding the task clearly, choosing strategies, monitoring, and adjusting. This will reinforce basic concepts of SRL until it becomes second nature to our students and staff. So what is our hunch? If we believe that many of our learners do not engage effectively in their own learning and give up easily in challenging learning situations, we wonder as educators, how have we contributed to this? Are we differentiating enough? Do we assess in a manner that is non-threatening and fosters a willingness to take risks? Or have we been creating learning environments that are fraught with testing, deadlines, percentages, and letter grades? Learning environments that lead to task avoidance for many students. More importantly, what might we do differently to promote the self-regulatory and metacognitive skills our learners clearly need? We began our professional learning in SRL with a review of the differences between self-regulation and self-regulated learning. One of our early primary teachers, Nikki Neal, presented some important concepts from her favorite social learning books to help us get acquainted with some basic ideas and important vocabulary. At our first Pro-D session in September, Nikki Yee from the district-level UBC study on SRL presented core concepts to us. We learned about the importance of metacognition and examined reference materials that we then ordered for our staff. Later that fall, we held lunch and learn meetings to read and discuss 3 articles recommended by Nikki. We invited Sarah Shove to our November Pro-D session to help us explore universal design for learning and its important connection to SRL. In the new year, as various learning teams explored areas of interest, 4 of our staff members, Michelle Kaplan, Lori Genuist, Shelley Houle, and Marnie Hunter, began their SFU grad diploma program on inclusive education. At our spring Pro-D session, many staff members examined Chapter 4 from the book Developing Self-Regulated Learners. What goals should we focus on to foster self-regulated learning? Later this spring, we met for another Lunch and Learn to discuss Chapter 5 of Developing Self-Regulated Learners, Creating Safe and Supportive Learning Environments. For many of us, the professional learning curve has been intimidatingly steep, but we feel the deep knowledge we are gaining is necessary before taking action. So, what action have we taken so far in terms of our learners? Currently, we are beginning to use the common language of SRL in our classrooms. We've also come up with our own versions of the learning target arrow that suit the needs of our highly diverse dual-track school. Teachers are giving feedback, and we hope to have them installed in each room in the near future. In the fall of 2019, we want to do a Big 4 survey with select students to establish a baseline of how students reflect on their learning. We plan to repeat the survey next June to see what impact our SRL efforts are having on Richardson learners. Since our inquiry is so new, we haven't been able to measure the impact it's had on our learners yet. We feel confident we're on the right track, and we hope to form interest-based learning teams as well as implement SRL-related strategies throughout the 2019-2020 school year. At this point, what we know for sure is we have a long and windy road ahead of us.